Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of stealing your energy. Now, this is part 2, and if this is you're just tuning into this, you may want to go back to the previous episode. This is where we discussed people that are actually stealing your energy. Now, today I want to work on food. I want to work on hacking our nutrition, hacking our food that is actually stealing our energy and robbing us of our energy every single day. You see, one of the big habits that I began to uncover just in the last few months and really paying attention to more in the last 4 to 6 weeks is really protecting my energy, from people to food, nutrition, the environment we live in, to, getting into other episodes where we're going to be talking about money. We're going to be talking about EMF, electromagnetic field. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things that are stealing our energy in our environment. And if you think of this, if I have people robbing me of my energy, stealing my energy, and I have food stealing from my energy, and I have money, I have all these other things, them all added up begins to be this toxic energy that I'm exposed to every single day. And what I want to talk about today comes from a different place, a place you may not necessarily think of. And if you're listening to this, I want you to just simply listen to it with an open mind. Now, think about how food can steal energy from us. Now, the whole purpose of food is to provide us energy, to provide us fuel, to be able to do what we need to do that day. It's not to overeat. It's not to overconsume. It's not something that was meant to eat 24/7 or, if you backed out, sleep. It's not something meant to be consumed every 2 to 3 hours all day long, contrary to what people think. Now, based off of what people may choose to do in their life, then yes, depending on that, then eating for every 2 to 3 hours, eating once a day, eating multiple times a day, doing intermittent fasting, all of these things have their place based off of what we choose as our goal or what we want out of life. But there's this other side of this where food is actually stealing energy from us. Think about this. Go grocery shopping. From processed foods, boxed foods, things with tons of ingredients, to sugar, grains, breads, to drinks, whether it's energy drinks or just drinks with calories. But these are all actually robbing us of our energy every single day. And I always think about the grocery store. And if you notice, the majority of grocery stores, the inside of the grocery store, the inside aisles are typically the ones that have the most processed food, the most boxed foods, canned foods, tons of ingredients. It also has, tons of grains, corn, all these things that you begin to become exposed to. But imagine if you had a high-performance sports car. And I want you to actually think of our body as this high-performance sports car. And think of the inside aisles of a grocery store, the worst possible gasoline, the worst possible oil you could put into that high-performance sports car, pretty much to the point where the only thing that it may actually do is just keep it running. But many of us treat our bodies this exact same way. Many of us have simply neglected this fuel for months, years, and some of us can even go on the other side of just eating way too much, overusing our bodies, over-consuming food. But either way, it's stealing our energy. Now, there's two sides of this. If you look at your body, there's, maybe not eating enough, not consuming enough energy, not consuming the right type of energy. And then there's this other side of over-consuming the wrong type of food, over-consuming even the right type of food. But either way, imagine what would happen to your energy if you began to shift from hanging out in the low quality food section, even, I'm talking about fast foods. I'm talking about any type of food that has a multiple list of ingredients. Now, how would you know is if you look at the majority of foods inside the aisles at a grocery store, even if you look in the organic section, organic aisle inside the middle of a grocery store, it still has several ingredients. Just because organic sugar is still sugar. So understand this. Understand that organic bread still has multiple ingredients. Now, is it better than regular bread? Yeah, I guess you could make an argument for it, but it still probably has pretty close to the same ingredients as far as the number. And so as you look at this, we are going from choosing multiple ingredient foods to shopping for one ingredient foods. One ingredient foods often don't even have labels. Think about this. Is there a label on apples? Is there a label on, celery? Is there a label on many of these fruits and vegetables you get in that section? Many of the meats, the fresh fish, things like that, there's not really a label for them. That's just one ingredient, and so there's no need for the label. Now, you might think, man, going from multiple ingredients to one ingredient, it's really tough. But if you knew what you were putting into your body, and you knew that, hey, this one body that you have is the one thing that's going to carry you through life, would you actually begin to change the way that you fueled it? I know I would. And I want you to also think of this. If you were driving a high-performance sports car, would you give it one ingredient, such as gasoline, or would you give it 10 different variations of a really crappy gasoline that would not get the performance out of it, but at least it would keep it running? But you knew the damage that was actually impacting it on the inside. Now, I'm not trying to scare you if you are someone who consumes a lot of these products, but what I am trying to tell you is this. Listen, if you don't start making a change, chances are you're going to have some type of health concerns, health scare. You can even have these even if you eat great, but the chances of me changing my food lowers my risk of possibly having high cholesterol, high blood pressure, any of these bacterial infections, anything where maybe my digestion, I have irritable bowel syndrome, I could have GERD, I could have multiple things going on just from food alone. And by me changing my nutrition, changing something that's stealing my energy every single day, I can begin to change the energy inside of my body that I'm putting out. Now, does this mean that I can't ever have a donut, like an alcoholic drink, a margarita, or some type of grain? No, it doesn't. But I would at least really think about trying to eliminate this for 30 days just to see how you feel, the difference in how you feel. And here's why. Is many times we get used to eating this stuff and feeling a certain way. We don't actually realize how bad we actually feel until we stop and we give something 30 days. Like 30 days is not that hard to make a commitment of saying, listen, I'm not going to have any bread, grain, pasta. I'm not going to do any alcohol. I'm not going to do any sugar for the next 30 days. But you are eliminating toxic foods from your body, from your health, and from your nutrition. Ones that affect digestion. Ones that make you feel bloated and can cause inflammation. So many people today have this inflammation issue. You see their stomachs. They look pregnant. You see their face swollen up. And many times they're not even that overweight. It's just they're so inflamed. And it's usually due to some type of issue with food. When we begin to change our food, when we begin to change our nutrition, we begin to change the internal part of our bodies. And I know this, if you had a Lamborghini sports car, like, would you actually choose to fuel it with the worst possible gasoline and oil? Or would you actually say, hey, like, I spent all this money on this car, so I might as well take care of it. I spent all this money on this high performance sports car, so I should probably take care of it. So why would your body be any different, except instead of money or the car, you are the actual vehicle that's driving you through life every single day. And that's the key point I want to make in this, because you are driving like a slug through life if you were fueling yourself up with this crappy gasoline. And there's no way that you're going to do this to your body if you really thought of it as a high-performance sports car. And then you wonder why you can't sleep, and then you wonder why your joints ache, and you wonder why you have a hard time digesting food, and you wonder why you can't stop eating sugar. It's because you are addicted to those things. And all of it starts with you just being aware of what's going on. I'm going to walk you through just some simple questions that get you out of this toxic food that you're giving yourself every single day. Now, question 1, is the food you're eating giving you energy or robbing you of this energy? Think about this. Is the food you're eating working or not working in your life? Many times we pick convenience over everything else, and when it comes to food, it's not always the best thing. You know, do you have any health conditions? Maybe you have, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Maybe you have digestion problems. Maybe you can't go to the bathroom on a normal basis. Maybe you need coffee or something like that to get everything out. That means you have a major health condition. But is your diet impacting this? Is your diet having an effect on this? And if it is, how is it? And then this last question changes the game for everything. Have you asked your body what type of nutrition it actually needs? You know what's crazy is people don't realize that their body will give them the answer they're looking for every single time if they begin to ask it real questions. Because when you ask your body questions, it pulls you back into the present place instead of just looking for something that's instant satisfaction and something to just make us feel better right then and there. But ask your body what type of nutrition it needs, and you will be really surprised at what it comes up with. Now listen, answer these questions to begin uncovering the answers to clearing out foods that are stealing your energy. When we ask our bodies what it needs, it begins to reveal the answers that we've always been looking for. So I want to thank you guys for being on here today. Look into these things, answer these questions, and look at what's stealing your energy. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in my Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook. This is where I'll be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, maybe you have some questions, comments, requests. Maybe you heard this episode and you're like, man, I love this. Leave me a 5-star review. I would love for you to have that and do that. Also, you can reach out to me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. If you have anything you want to send me, I would love to get in contact with you and see how I can help you begin living this lifestyle we talk about. So until next episode, have a great day.